This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, ladies, fellas, fans, subscribers, likers, watchers, everything. Welcome to the Football Frame of Mind podcast. I'm your host, Cameron. This is the other host, Brandon, on whichever side I pointed to. But that's this is Football Frame of Mind podcast, man. We're gonna give a little college football love today, man. But before we get started, man, we gotta give a shout out to our sponsors, man. Off the Ball Network being the first one, because they have given us an opportunity uh to branch out, man. Talk to different fans, man. Everybody on the network, specifically in the football space, has been really cool, man. They let us kind of do our power rankings every week, which gives us, a chance to really just like compare notes in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you feel about this team, whatever. But our conversations are really cool, man, especially, during Saturdays and Sundays and sometimes Mondays. but
All
but
week.
yeah, big shout out to them, man. We love the opportunity, man. But our second sponsor, man, is US Bets or Bet US. Either way, they some good people, man. Um, they gave us opportunity, man, to carry on their mission of being one of the best sports books out there, man. I mean, if you're into sports gambling, sports betting, sports books, they are the way to go, man. I mean, 30 years plus in this business, man. You can't go wrong with that, man. So check out our link, man. They have a deal for like uh 30 plus free bets that they'll give you using our promo code. So check it out, man. It won't be disappointed. So, but before we get into all of this college football stuff, how you doing, bro?
Man, the boys are back in town, ball. We
Yep, yep,
back. We've been doing a
yep.
lot of recording on our own time, man. Very, very, very busy schedules. Unfortunately, we would much rather be on here with each other, but sometimes life happens and we have to do what we have to do. I just would appreciate if you guys would just show us some love, man. We've just been trying to grind and get you guys a lot of content, but we're really excited to be here today.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's really cool, man. We kind of grown a lot throughout the last couple weeks, man. Closing in on 10,000 subscribers, man. So you guys can really hit that like and subscribe button, man. We really appreciate it, man, because we've got a lot of content, man, for everybody. Anything you want, we got it, man. So don't forget to do that, man. But glad to be back, face to face, screen to screen, however you want to call it, man. It's good to be back, man. Busy schedules, but we gonna get it together, man. So we're gonna start today's show with the recap, man, of last week's action, man. So I'll start. I have to do my Alabama rant. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not really a rant because I kind of expect games to be like this for the rest of the season. I mean, until like we get a quarterback that can really attack a defense through the air. I mean, that's just kind of what the game is, man. I mean, this ain't a military academy where you're gonna be triple optioning all day.
It's
Like,
straight army, bro.
yeah, Army, Navy, Air Force, like even Air Force has like a passing offense now, I think.
Mhm.
I don't even think they do triple option no more.
I think
So
they run the air raid.
so yeah, man. So I mean, I like Jalen Milrow. I mean, he has an arm, man, but it's like for him to even be a draftable player, he's gotta take a next step. I mean, you look at
Hmm.
players like Cam Newton. Cam Newton could do everything Jalen Milrow do with his legs. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I actually think that Jalen Milroe is a faster player. I don't think he's a better runner than Cam because Cam had like this ability to just like he was almost like he was playing running back when he ran the ball. Literally, he had a
Mm-hmm.
way of just feeling where defenders were, and his quickness wasn't really a hesitation, right? So I kind of really compare Jalen Milroe to kind of RG3 in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about running ability, because RG3, although he could run, if he wasn't like he couldn't go left and then turn right and then take off, right? He had a straight line speed. That's what kind of Jalen Milroe has. He doesn't really have a quick twitch like a Cam Newton had. So it's a straight line speed. If it's there and he hit it, he gone. But to get him side to side, he don't really have that for real. So when you don't have that, RG3 had an arm. So he could throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like he could
Mm-hmm.
really attack a defense, you know what I'm saying, with his arm. So for Jalen Milroe to be a draftable player, now don't get me wrong, I think somebody might take a chance on him, just off the fact that he's that athletic. And I mean, shoot, you know what I'm saying? Took a chance on Michael Vick and he turned into one of the greatest players to
Yep.
ever play the game. You know what I'm saying? So it just happens sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You never know. But I think he'd be a draftable player. But for him to have the success in the next level like he wants to, he has to be able to pass the ball, man. He has to scare a team. You know what I'm saying? But I think for this
Mm-hmm.
season alone, for us to really like go far like we want to, I think it has to do a lot with our defense, man. Like we are playing lights out. Now we ain't playing 2020 defense or 2016 or 11 or '09 defense because there's still some things we could work on. But over the last 3 seasons, I think this is probably the best defense we've had. So I look forward to seeing how much they can grow and how good they can play, man. I'm really proud of Caleb Downs, man. I mean, to be a freshman playing, you gotta be a bad dude, especially at safety. Saban don't let safeties play as true
Mm-hmm.
freshmen unless you're really good. And we talking like Minka
Mm-hmm.
Fitzpatrick good. Like people don't understand how good Minka was as a freshman, but you gotta be that good to see the field as a freshman or be the best player at that position. But I think he's really, really good, man. I think he's gonna be most likely a freshman All American this year, man. I'd be surprised if he wasn't, because he's made a lot of plays, like a lot of tackles, man. So I mean, I don't know how many tackles he has right now, but I bet it's probably in the 30s. And with the games we got left, he can easily be a 60 tackle safety. You know what I'm saying? So then you got your Dallas Turners, you know what I'm saying, and Chris Braswell's. Like those guys are really good edge rushers and everything. So, like I said, defense is what I'm really looking forward to, man. Like offense, I'm not worried about it, man. I mean, we just gonna have to get. He gonna have to get better. That's it. You're gonna have to get better, man. And actually, I think the run game has been stagnant too, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? I think we should let little Justice Haynes get some shine, man. I mean, just a different back, different skill set. I mean, I like Jace McClellan, I like Roydell Williams, but they like the same dude. You know what I'm saying? The
Mm-hmm.
same running back. That's it. I mean, they can catch. I mean, Jace can catch a lot better than Roydell can, but it's like they do this jump cut type of running back style, right? And when
Mm-hmm.
I seen Justice Haynes play like in the spring game, it wasn't too much jump cutting. It was just like straight downhill. I'm just running. You know what I'm saying?
True.
You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Spring game
Mm-hmm.
is not like a thing, but I mean, Roydell and what's the name ran like the same way in the spring. You know what I'm saying? Or spring practice, whatever. Like they run the same way. But we're like, Justice Haynes might be a shot in the arm we need. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you need that. like a different back that just can do different things, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. You just need it sometimes, you know? And maybe that'll open up the passing game for Jalen Milroe to really get comfortable. So he doesn't have to do that. But I feel like for us to really take the next step forward, he's gonna have to make those throws in the middle third
Mm-hmm.
or in between the seams and all that stuff. Like he has to make those throws, man. Gotta be. I mean, your boy
He's got to
Jay
develop as
Daniels
a
is doing,
passer.
your boy Jane Daniels is doing that. I was really impressed with some of the throws he was making, man. But even him, he's a straight line runner. He's not really a juker or a finesse running, but like he's not like that. Straight down the field. As soon as he goes straight. Ain't no jucking, ain't no jiving. He's just straight down the field. So I like that. You know what I'm saying? Pick up what you can. I feel like Jalen be thinking too much. But I mean, we got the win, so I'm excited about that. I mean, that makes me feel good. But going against Tennessee, man. I don't know, man. I mean, they got an offense, man. I don't know if they have the trigger man this year to really do that, but we'll get that into the preview thing. So
Mm-hmm.
recapping your team, the LSU Tigers. Tell
Man,
me about that.
so that was an interesting matchup because, as you know, Auburn's got weapons, man. They've got two guys who could literally be their starter. They've got Peyton Thorne as a starter, transfer from Michigan State. And they still have Robbie Ashford. They used him in certain packages and stuff like that, too. Uh, the defense didn't look horrible, but we still see instances of where you can put a team away and your secondary is still struggling. But I don't fully put on the secondary because, man, guys like Mason Smith and some of these other guys on the line, we're not getting a good enough push in the trenches. We're not getting a good push on the line of scrimmage to where these guys are having too much time. And damn near any other quarterback in the country, man, you give them time in the pocket, they're gonna end up finding somebody. It's just the way the game is. But man, when that offense hit the light switch, when LSU's offense hit the light switch, they did not. They put the foot on the gas, man. I mean, Jaden Daniels looked really good throwing the ball, putting that ball in places for Neighbors and Thomas and some of these other guys. We were able to get the run game going to an extent with guys like Diggs. John Emery finally came back. I didn't know. I was sudden he was 4 and he stuck. I'm like, okay. But man, like they could not, Auburn could not contain. They could not contain Daniels. Daniels needs to get an invite to New York for that Heisman because I'm not saying he should win it, but man, his stat lines have been crazy. In the beginning of the season, I was starting to get a little skeptical. I'm like, was last year kind of a fluke, or are we starting to regress a little bit as a passer? And I found LSU's offensive line started to play a lot better because they weren't protecting him that well. And they still struggle to an extent, but man, he is a hell of an improviser with them legs, man. And he's not always looking to run first. There were throws where I seen him roll out the pocket and he throws against his body and he puts it on the freaking money. And he's looking a lot better as a passer, being able to read defenses. And man, there's times where I'm thinking he's going to get blown up. Like he's getting past that freaking line of scrimmage. I'm like, okay, he's taking off. I'm thinking, all right, he's going to get hit. Nah, he's freaking taking it 20, 30, 40 yards downfield. He's beating everybody out. I mean, I think they should have won by more, but I was really impressed with the way the offense rolled. Like this is LSU's got a very explosive offense when everything's ticking. Like not many defenses can contain them. Their Achilles heel is their secondary and that push on the defensive line. But I mean, dude, they're impressing, and we're starting to come up on some of these harder games. Not this week, we got to play Army, but you're gonna start getting to the end of the year. You're gonna see Alabama and some of these other teams that definitely are gonna challenge that offense. And man, they're gonna challenge LSU secondary, and we'll see how that goes. But man, I was really impressed with the way he commanded the offense. Man, they just kept it rolling. They didn't take their foot off their neck, man. They just kept the gas going for sure. And I'm really looking forward to see how do they take it from here? Can they continue to improve in defense? Or we're going to start regressing? Can the secondary figure it out? Because when you start getting to teams like how you said Alabama, if Jalen Milroe starts putting the pieces together as a passer with the weapons he's got at receiver, that could be very dangerous. So
Yeah. So I'm not gonna be a hater because I do like LSU, but I can't pick them. It's always go Army, bro. Always. Always go Army.
well, you know
Big
what?
game.
Then we'll be okay then, because the Army don't throw the ball, so we'll be good then.
Bruh, all right. You sleeping on a passing game when they run like 100 runs and then just pop out and throw
That's
it.
what I'm saying. They still lined up in triple option, but then they run the play action like, oh crap,
Like,
like oh man, they actually can throw the
touchdown.
ball.
Hey, but the way y'all secondary playing, y'all better be woke because they gonna run that one pass play. And that's probably gonna
hmm
be the one they better be paying attention to. So but
This needs to be a game where that defense can kind of. I'm not gonna say it's a take back game, but I think this is a good game for the secondary to be like, okay, look, let's figure out what we're doing wrong now instead of we start getting into the game or two after that where you can't do that at all or you will get torched.
I mean, I don't know, man. Y'all gonna have to like look. I'm not picking. I'm not like I said. I pick Army. I'm always supportive of the Army, but they gotta like. Speaking of y'all have to like really make them into fourth and long because they going for fourth downs if it makes sense. So if it's 4th and 2, they
Oh
probably
yeah, they're gonna run that.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So as long as y'all keep Army like from 4th and 5 or whatever, then yeah, you know what I'm saying. But you seen how like a couple years ago Army played against like who's that Michigan and they almost beat them. I was like, oh,
That
but
was that was like NCAA 14 Army. That's what that was. Because you know how they're
yeah,
like
bro.
OP in the game where they freaking go winning like national championships like crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, like so playing these military academies ain't easy at all, man.
No, man,
So
because it's
like
unpredictable.
yeah, so you gotta like I would not worry, but I would worry if y'all can't get no penetration like y'all supposed to. Because that's gonna be the
hmm
key to like y'all winning by a lot or y'all scraping by, right?
Battle in the trenches.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I mean typically, you know what I'm saying, like I don't know, man. It's all about discipline too, playing a triple option, man. So like I said, y'all defense up front has been playing really good. So I think y'all be cool. It's just like,
hmm
you know, that second level, second, third level,
hmm
like that's where you're gonna
I think
need.
the linebackers are good, man. It's just with the corners and safeties, we're just still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, and then with like the fact that Army's a running team, like your corner's gonna have to make some tackles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially if they pushing the ball outside and the flats and all
Yeah,
that,
you
they're
know what I'm
gonna have to
saying?
make yep.
Those sweeps and all of that, pitches and all that, like they
Tosses
gotta
and
be
stuff.
paying attention. So I hope that Brian Kelly is preaching that, like, yo, y'all gotta pay attention, stay awake because the pitch is coming, or the keeper is coming, like, or the full back dive, whatever. It's coming down the chute.
Counter stuff like that.
So, you gotta be paying attention. But like I said, I expect y'all to win,
hmm
but I'm still go Army.
I want to ask you, yeah, go Army. I want to ask you about one of these other games, man. And I think this is the game that me and you put a big asterisk next to back in July, and that's Oregon and Washington. What you thought about that?
I thought it was good, man. I mean, from what I did see, uh Lanning was too aggressive. and it kind of cost them a little bit. So, you know, you can be aggressive, and I think it's cool to be aggressive, man, because I heard somebody on ESPN talking about the analytics and things like that. And sometimes you can overthink it. And I don't think Lanning was. It just didn't execute. That's all. And when it comes down to it, the other team just execute better. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Washington is a really good team. That was a really good game. So I don't know if they're in different divisions in the Pac-12, but they'll probably see each other again. So if they are in the same division, they'll see each other in the championship game if that's what happened. If not, then that was just a really good game, man. So one team's going to benefit from that win, and the other one, maybe if chaos happens, can benefit from the loss. We've seen it happen with the college football playoff. So, I mean, next year it won't
Mm-hmm.
really matter as much. But I thought it was a good game, man. I think Michael Penix is definitely the number one Heisman front runner right now. I mean, you obviously got to look at Caleb Williams because he has some big games coming up. So,
Oof. But we're gonna talk about that game he just had after this.
yeah, I mean, he does have some big games coming up, though. You know what I'm saying? So even though it doesn't look like he might not win it, but I mean, he's still gonna get an invite to New York because he was the winner last year. So, I mean, like I said, I don't think he's gonna win it because I mean, if you're thinking about Archie Griffin, like think about how much better he was the second year around. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
People forget like he won, but then he was better the year he won the second time. So I mean, for a person to do that, you have to like up your game a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you look at Tebow, he had a chance to win too. Maybe not two in a row, but I think he had a chance to win too. So
Mm-hmm.
he had to up his game a lot, and he couldn't really do that. He lost some games that he probably shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I thought he had it that time, the second game against Alabama. But he didn't, he just couldn't do it, you know what I'm saying? So that kind of hurt his Heisman chances right there. But like I said, you gotta up your game a little bit. And Caleb Williams is okay, but I feel like he's having a Jadeveon Clowney type downfall a little bit. Where it's like I'm about to be the number one pick, so I'm gonna give y'all enough to where y'all don't think about not drafting me, but I'm not gonna go
Mm-hmm.
all because I'm about to be the number one pick. You feel me? So I mean, it just feels like that to me. But I mean, hey, whatever, dude. I mean, hey, if he's good,
Mm-hmm.
he's good, whatever. But I think Michael Penix is really crawling up the draft board though. Like, I mean, I don't know if he's overtaken Drake May and Caleb Williams, but I do
Yeah,
know,
he's right there, bro.
but I know he did pass Shador Sanders though. I don't think
Oh
he.
yeah.
I don't think. I think the last few games of Shador has kind of brought him down a little bit. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he's still a good quarterback. I just think he should stay another year, just because. I mean, he could always get better, and like he could be like the top quarterback next year because I don't think anybody's really testing him for real. I mean, maybe Joe Milton, maybe he might sneak up there, but we talking like what 2025, so we don't really know. But I
Mm-hmm.
do know that Michael Penix. I think somebody might pick Michael Penix, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Dude's a
Like,
freaking lefty, and it's so freaking cool to see him sling the freaking rock like that.
yeah, it's just odd looking, man. Mark Brunell,
Hey,
I think was
I
lefty.
love to see it, bro. I'm a lefty, so I always support the lefties, bro. Mark Brunell
Yeah,
was one of my favorites.
yeah, Brunell was a lefty. Tua's a lefty. You know what I'm saying? So lefty. I think Steve Young was a lefty as well. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like that's really cool to see, man. But I mean, I think people might be fascinated with him at the next level, man. I don't know who, but I mean, you
He's got the
seen,
tools.
yeah, you seen what Lamar could do in the right system, man. So somebody only one team needs to fall in love with you at the next level. So I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if somebody looking to make a splash, you know what I'm saying, will pick him because he's excited, man. And I think his ability to like throw the ball is like the thing that people are really fascinated by, like the growth passing the ball. Because I mean, he was technically a runner and for most part. And was that Indiana? I think it was Indiana, right? I think that's where he was at, Indiana.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was a runner for the most part, and then he grew passing. He had injuries, but you could tell he could pass a little. And then he went to Washington and just kind of just turned into a whole different quarterback. So I don't know what happened between that, but the injuries went down. It probably coincides with the fact that he is passing a lot more. So he's not running.
Yeah.
So that kind of helps, as well. So, I mean, I don't know. I think he's really good, man. I think as far as Heisman is concerned, he's number one for me, man. I mean, Drake May's just like boring good. You know what I'm saying? Like there's
he's pretty electrifying too, though.
I mean, but you can give people a 350 piece and it not be exciting. He just
it really is just normal.
You know what I'm saying? He's just that good, man. So I mean, that's why I think he might go number one because Caleb Williams makes the crazy plays, the highlight plays, but sometimes you just need Peyton Manning. I'm good. I give you the same me every week, and that's excellent every week. And when you're dealing with a guy like Caleb Williams, man, sometimes you don't need to be flamboyant. You don't. I mean,
sometimes you just want a guy that comes in, does the work, and gets it done.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like Joe Burrow is not a flamboyant quarterback, bro. He's just that good. You know what I'm saying? He don't do all of that. He's just that good. You know what I'm saying? So teams really might be just looking for that. And like I just think he's just boring, and he's so good that it's boring.
Yeah.
And that's
it's
what it is.
Become normal at this point.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just think he's good though, but I just don't think people are really like he's not really talked about as much. And they like really good this year. You know what I'm saying? They've had some really good performances. So I mean, never know, man. Like I said, with Clemson being out of the picture, I mean, they right there for the ACC title.
I mean, I did pick them to make the playoff.
I mean, yeah, you did. So I mean, never know. So what about this other game, man, that you're talking about, man?
Man, I'm talking about Mr. Caleb Williams didn't show up against Notre Dame. Boy threw about 2 or 3 interceptions. Man, it was so good to see that because, man, I feel like Notre Dame kind of got the shaft a few times, man. They lost a heartbreaker a few weeks ago to Ohio State in South Bend, which I think that was a game they should have won. They had a near loss scare to Duke a few weeks ago with Riley Leonard and them. They lost a game to Louisville, which I feel like I picked it in my preview a couple weeks ago. I thought they should have won that game. But, man, they came to play. That defense stood up, bro. They were getting turnovers, man. And Sam Hartman looked really good. They were putting points on the board. It wasn't a close win, which was very surprising to me because I know USC is explosive and they could score points. But, man, that defense was just containing them, which blew me away. I didn't see that coming at all. Sam Hartman looked really freaking good. They were able to run the ball. They were able to contain Caleb Williams. They were able to get him to turn the ball over. It was a really good motivational and confidence booster for them, for sure, man. I think that they're a really good team, man. I think Marcus Freeman's got them in a really good place. Yeah, they've had a couple of slip-ups, but, man, that's a win that you really needed, and that's a very impressive win by me. And all this talk about Caleb Williams, I mean, that's like if I'm looking at it from like a draft perspective or like if I'm looking at it like a scout perspective, a lot of these antics and then performances like that kind of makes me take a step back. It's like, okay, you can sling the ball. You can, like you said, you can have all these explosive plays. But now I'm starting to look at it like, okay, is that more of a pro than some of these other things? Like, should I be looking deeper into these things, or should I start pulling the reels back and say, okay, maybe I don't think you should be number one overall? Like, just because, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a hater, but I try to look at the whole body of work in perspective. And I mean, that's a game you can't afford to throw that 2 or 3 interceptions in, man. You have to come to play because Notre Dame will come into your house and beat you.
I agree. I like Marcus Freeman, man. I think he was a perfect coach for Notre Dame, man. I think they needed a defensive face. Because Brian Kelly was an offensive guy. And I mean, it's cool. It's all right. It's all right, man. I mean, but they needed a defensive boost, man. That was kind of what they needed, in my opinion, man. So I think he's in the right place. I mean, obviously Notre Dame is going to be a school that is always in the mix. I mean, I don't think there's been a time where Notre Dame's been like really bad. I mean, not like terrible. I'm talking terrible.
No, but just not up to that same standard.
Yeah, not up to the standard, but they've always been relevant. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So, like, he just keeping it going, man. Like, he's gonna have his time to get to a national championship one day. But I mean, right now he's just trying to build a culture, man, and it's really cool, man. I look. I never thought in my lifetime I would see 2 black coaches at Notre Dame, to be honest with you. But I seen 2 of them. So I call that a win because I never thought that was going to happen. And I seen it twice. So, I mean, look, I'm rooting for them because that's a tough school to win at. Even with all the alumni and all the money and TV deals that they have, it's a tough school to win at. You know what I'm saying?
It is hard.
So, I mean, for it to be kind of your first really job, like I think that's tough anyway. You know what I'm saying? But the fact is, he has them like on the cusp of something good. I mean, you take Ohio State down to the wire. I mean, then Duke's kind of ascending. Who their coach is going to be a hot dude this offseason too. So I don't expect him to be there much longer. Because I mean, shoot, Steve Spurrier was there, and you seen what happened when he got his big opportunity. So I mean, all it takes is just one couple good seasons with a small school, man, that's not supposed to be winning. Then yeah, you're gonna get an opportunity. So I think he'll be really good moving forward as far as the hot commodity. Might be the hottest dude in the offseason. So that's a dude. And then, like I said, Marcus Freeman's good. I think he'll be all right. But I mean, the whole Caleb Williams thing, man. So my thing is, you're gonna have a case like Ryan Leaf and Peyton Manning. Like this is how
that's pretty much the same thing.
Like it's really gonna be like that. I mean, the only difference is one dude's black and one dude's white. That's it. But that's it.
It's literally the same. It's mirrored.
That's it. Like
20 years later, same thing.
Like Ryan Leaf, people don't understand. Ryan Leaf got Washington State to the Rose Bowl that year, and like finished top 10 in the Heisman, top 5 in the Heisman. So Ryan Leaf was a baller, right? But as you hear him talk about his stories, he just wasn't mature enough up here to really make the impact that he wanted to, right? So when I think about like Drake May or Caleb Williams 1 and 2, I just think like, not saying that Caleb Williams isn't a smart player, because I really think he is. I just think being in LA just kind of
getting his head.
Yeah, it's like it's bringing out the bad. And it's like you're trying to pull a John Elway-esque type situation.
Yeah, that's not happening in this day and age, bro. It's not happening.
Where you want to go. But you have to understand, John Elway had options. Like, people understand, Dude was
John
bad.
Elway was that dude, bro.
He was bad on the baseball diamond, bro. Like he didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
play. He didn't have to play football, and he knew it. He
Mm-hmm.
was that good. And the Yankees, he
Mm-hmm.
was on the Yankees. That was his team that drafted him. So I mean, he could have easily done that. So for a person that really doesn't have any other options besides football, for him to be saying some of the things that he's saying is just not really, it's
It's
not
very concerning.
resonating with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to pick the spots you want to go to, but it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's
And
true.
me
You
personally,
gotta earn that, dude.
you're not that good to really make that happen.
Not to be garnering that attention.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you're not. It's not a year like John Wall going to the Wizards where it's slam dunk. You're
Mm-hmm.
the first overall pick. It's still some questions you
Mm-hmm.
need to answer. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Rose going to the Bulls. Like, it's not a slam dunk first overall pick, man. You have some questions you have
Yeah,
to answer. And that game he played last week, man, or this weekend was not.
that
That's
was
not a good way
ugly.
to answer the question, dog. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to make it individual, but it is. He has some questions he needs to answer, basically. And one of those questions is, man, can you not only win the big game, but because technically, if we really want to dig deeper into the weeds of his draft card or scouting report,
Mm-hmm.
winning a big game really hasn't been his thing. I mean,
No.
should I go back to last year? I mean, two losses to
Should we
Utah,
go? I lost to Tulane.
and then you lose to Tulane in a bowl game. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you lose to Utah, right? Okay, cool. But if you're as good as you say you are, and as good as you think you are, no way you supposed to let your team lose to them again.
Not after putting F Utah in your freaking knuckles and talking all that smack just to come up
Exactly.
short.
Exactly. So that's the problem. And then y'all still are good enough to go to a relatively good bowl game. And
Yeah.
there's no way that Tulane is supposed to beat you.
Mm-mm.
Sorry. Respect to the Green Wave, man. Respect to them.
And don't make the excuse that y'all didn't want to be there. Don't make that excuse. Whatever bowl game you got
Right.
is what you got. You show up
Right.
and you
And
play.
then
That's a bad look.
the attitude isn't there. Like
Mm-hmm.
you haven't even been drafted yet, and you already acting like a prima donna. So I'm gonna give you $50 million, right? And you already act like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm an executive, I really don't want that. No matter
No, that's
how
bad
good,
PR. It's bad for an organization.
yeah, like you starting off on the wrong foot, man. And it's just not a good look, man. And like I said, he's uber talented. I love his arm talent, man. He looks
Mm-hmm.
like he throws the ball like it's not
No
even,
effort.
yeah, it's like effortless. And it go like 60 yards. So the
Mm-hmm.
talent is there. It's just like how you gonna act when you get drafted and your team isn't that good? Are you
Mm-hmm.
gonna get into the playbook and really kind of make your team better? You know what I'm saying? Or are you gonna shrink and just attack everybody like Ryan Leaf or Jeff George did, where
Or
I'm
Jay
just think
Cutler.
like I'm just better than everybody. Forget coaching. I can do what I want, man. And that's just not gonna be successful, man. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it. Like we've seen quarterbacks and players that are cancers in the locker room, and they get put out of the league. Still
It's
talent.
true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not looking like it's supposed to be for him. And I don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong. like I said, I think that he's the favorite to go number one. But I think after this
Yeah.
game, it's not as clear cut as you think. Because
Mm-mm.
I think people are trending towards Michael Penix
Mm-hmm.
because I think, don't get me wrong, I know Drake May is he's gonna be a first round.
Yeah, he's still in the conversation.
Yeah, he's still gonna be a first round draft pick. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what people say or do or whatever, he's gonna be. So if people are enamored with Caleb Williams with all the baggage that he comes with, cool, whatever. If you're cool with, Michael Penix, cool. No, nobody's gonna hate you for picking those two guys because they're uber
Mm-hmm.
talented. Exactly what Drake made. Nobody's gonna be mad if you pick him. Nobody. Because he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna go to the right situation. And if you ask me, I would hope he goes to probably Washington. I would
He'd
hope.
be a really good fit with them, dude.
I mean, think about it.
What? I just don't know. Yeah, I guess it just depends how they feel about their quarterback situation at
Think
the end of
about
the
it
year.
though, because I feel like Ron Rivera might step down or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might go
You
in that
think Eric
direction.
Bieniemy might get it? You're saying?
Exactly. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I don't think, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Hal is the quarterback for them, but
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll be a good fit. I think Michael Penix will be a good fit. I think Caleb Williams
Dude,
will be a good fit though. I think
but imagine a guy like Drake May in that offense with Eric Bieniemy making the calls, dude. That's dangerous.
because you've seen how good Sam Howell has been, and you've seen how good, he's been. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine getting a player that's kind of really good. You know what I'm saying? That's better than Sam Howell at this point in his career. So you're getting your guy. So you can do that. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I don't want Ron Rivera to lose his job, man. But I mean, there has to be a change at some point.
Yeah.
Like
New
there's
ownership, new coaching.
new ownership, new ideas. It just has to do that. I mean, I love Ryan for what he did in Carolina. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because he basically took a flyer on Cam Newton and turned him into an MVP player, man. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't really be mad at him, man. He trusted him, and it was a great situation, man. And he's been through a lot personally too. So I mean, I'm rooting for him. I just think that for the Commanders or whatever they want to be called now, I think it's time for them to really just turn the page and start over new with a
Mm-hmm.
new franchise quarterback and a new head coach. I think that's just what it is. Now,
Yeah.
if I'm getting into the game itself, I mean, look, I already knew USC was going to be in trouble because I mean
Oh yeah.
they've given up big leads to everybody, bro. Like they've
Dude,
been
they just had a nail biter with Arizona in overtime.
yeah. So I'm like, imagine when somebody that can actually score with you and your defense is already bad. Like, what if you're down and then have to come back?
Mm-hmm.
You ain't never been there
True.
before. In the last few times that they've done that, they've lost those big games. Utah got up on them twice and they couldn't recover. Tulane started to come back, and then when they took the lead, they couldn't come back. You know what I'm saying? So now you facing Sam Hartman, who is a thrower's thrower. Like he can throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really gonna come back, and they play defense better than you. So you're not really looking that good, man. So I mean, but they gonna be a good team. I mean, Lane, not Lane, but Lincoln Riley is a offensive mastermind. So I don't think he's not gonna stop scoring points, man. He just want to score some more. So but yeah. So but I mean, look, this is our preview show, man. Oh no, recap show. My bad, my bad.
Yep.
Recap show. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this part of it because now we're gonna transition into the preview. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna do this is gonna be not a two-part video, but this is gonna be the preview part of it. So I mean, you seen our recap, man. Obviously Bama, we did LSU, we did Oregon and Washington, and we did Notre Dame and USC, man. And we got a little bit of draft talking there too, man. So,
Mm-hmm.
but now we're gonna preview, this weekend's game. So, Brandon, what you got?
Man, so I went ahead and I picked 4 really interesting games, and I think you would agree.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna go swinging for the fences. The first game I want to talk about,
Mm.
I want to talk about Riley Leonard against Jordan Travis. I want to talk about Duke and Florida State.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about it. So, all right. So I'm all in on Jordan Travis, man. I mean, if you watched all of our videos, man, I like Jordan Travis, man. He's so smooth, man. It's like he's been in that offense so long that he just knows how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to make decisions. He knows where the defense is going to be, how they want to attack it. I mean, it helps to have 6, 7 receivers. I mean, it does help, but it's good to just see how he plays, man. But like we said in the preview segment or the recap segment, um, Duke is playing lights out, man.
Mm-hmm.
Their head coach is going to be a high commodity, man. I mean, he has them guys playing out of their mind. And Riley Leonard's really good, man. I mean, he is really, really good. Like, way better than I ever imagined the quarterback
Dude,
Duke.
I was high on him in the preseason, bro.
You were. I was like, who is Riley Leonard? I don't know who this is. I was like, you threw that name out of
And
nowhere.
you were like, "Who is that?"
I had to like grab my phone real quick. I had to be like, Riley Leonard, man.
He's like, "Duke? Why are you talking about Duke quarterback?
Dude.
Where you got this from?"
I was like, Duke, that's a basketball school. But I was like, but
but
I knew they had won like 9 games last year. So I knew like coming into this season, I knew it was like gonna be really good. Now beat Clemson good. I didn't think they was gonna do that. Didn't think they was gonna do that at all.
I don't think either one of us saw that coming.
No, not at all. So but I mean, if I had to pick a game, I think I'm going to go Florida State because I really like Jordan Travis. That's really like
Mm-hmm.
my guy. I really like him. I mean, I'm not saying he's front runner for the Heisman, but the way he's playing, he'll probably be in New York. I think about 4, maybe 5 people will probably going to New York this year because it's really,
All quarterbacks.
yeah, all quarterbacks, bro. Like ain't nobody else doing it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else doing it. Actually, you know what? I'll throw in a dark horse. I know it's not really what we're talking about today, but dude from Mizzou, man.
Oh, you talking about Brady Cook?
No, not him, not him. I'm talking the wide
Who?
receiver. Uh,
Oh yeah, you talking about? I forgot his name.
uh, uh,
Oh, I forgot his name.
man. Oh man, I
What is
forgot.
his name?
Number 3. Like I don't know,
Oh, dude, what is it?
but he got like 900 yards already. So I mean, he killing the
He's been
SEC.
eating.
Yeah, he killing the SEC and all college football in terms of yardage, man, yards per catch, whatever. He been killing everybody. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets not a dark horse nod, man. Especially if he keep going. Like I expect him to be really good and up there, man.
Mm-hmm.
But just a dark horse person that I thought should be in the conversation. But I mean,
Mhm.
I think I'll go Florida State though, because I
Yeah.
really like. I just like what they have, what they going.
Okay.
Seem like they on a mission this year. I mean, they beat Clemson and they beaten LSU, so they got some good games, some good wins so far, and it seems like they on a mission, man. Like it just seems like they on a mission to really kind of take back the ACC, man. And which would be good for the ACC moving forward. I mean, it's good to have one more team than Clemson. I expect Clemson to be back. I don't know what's going on with them, but I mean, I expect them to be back eventually. I
It
mean,
ain't working, bro.
yeah, it's not working, man. I mean, it just seemed like after they lost to y'all in the national championship game, hasn't it seemed like they gotten stagnant a little bit? Like, I
Hmm.
mean, almost predictable.
Ever since Trevor left, I feel like it's been like that.
Yeah, man, it's like they just become stagnant and just like not the same team. I mean, I don't know. I just there's something off with them to the point where everybody else in the division and conferences has begun to get better. They had time to catch up.
Hmm.
And like I mean, yeah, they recruit at a high level, but it's like now everybody's playing at a high level, not just
Hmm.
recruiting at a high level. So
Hmm.
now you're getting games where Clemson should be blowing people out, but they just not there. So, but I digress, man. Like I said, I got Florida State winning this one,
Hmm.
but not as much, not about as much as people think.
Yeah. I uh I would agree with you. I think Florida State's playing a lot different. I mean, I think you called it better than I called it, that you thought they were going to be playing a lot different this year. And they're winning a lot of these games in convincing fashion. I'm still high on Duke, man. I think Riley Leonard is very underrated. I think he could go in. I don't know if this game's in Tallahassee or not, but I could definitely see him going blow for blow with Jordan Travis. But I think the difference is I just don't know if they're going to be able to protect him against that defensive front from Florida State, man. They're tough on the freaking line, man. They can get pressure on the quarterback. So, I mean, if they can protect him and they
Jared
do really
Verse.
good in pass protection, yeah. If they do well in pass protection, I think they could have a shot to win. I'm still going to go with Florida State, but I'm just not fully sold on if Duke's offensive line can contain that pass rush. Because if they can't contain it, it's going to be a long day for them for sure.
I agree. I agree, man. Jared Verse is a top five pick, man. Top five, dog. You can't go wrong with him. Like he is good, man. Like really good. So I expect him to be top five, maybe even the first defensive player taken in the draft next year, man, because he's really good. So you can put him on any
Mm-hmm.
team right now, and he gonna wreak havoc, man. I really hope he goes to somebody like Carolina because if they can put him with Burns, that'll take a lot off of Burns. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think Carolina probably picks Marvin Harrison because they need some help.
They're going to get Bryce a weapon.
Yeah, they need some help. He needs some help. But me personally, if I had to pick, I'm picking Jared Verse, man. Let's build this defense. Let's get some nastiness about our defense because offensively, man, we can just plug and play, man. Look, we and trial and error right now. So that's
Mm-hmm.
how bad their team is. They are trial and error right now. They need to just start picking people off the street that can play because they are horrible. I did like that. Not
You
the topic today.
was
Not
the one who was high on them.
I was not the topic we talking about today. But I have to revisit my pick about Carolina being one of the teams to surprise people. Okay, I didn't know
Oh,
that
they
it was
surprised
that
people.
bad. I didn't know it was that bad. I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't. I thought that, having a new coach with a new quarterback, maybe some fresh ideas, but that team was ass, man. I'm sorry. They is horrible, man. Like, and I don't know, man. And what's crazy is they don't even have a first round pick. I'm mistaken. They traded that to Chicago, I think. Or yeah.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
no.
They traded picks with the Bears or Houston to get in the top 3 or whatever. They traded that pick away,
So they
if I'm
traded
not
next year's
mistaken.
first round to get Bryce.
I'm pretty sure something along those lines, yeah.
So well, dang. Okay. Well, all right. Well, no
Oops.
Marvin Harrison, no Jerry Verse. All right. Well, oops. Looks like they're gonna be back in the saddle again, man. So but
Oh man.
all right.
But
All right, next game. We talk about NFL in the next recap preview video. But like I said, this is a football show, so football is universal. So we talk about different things. But all right, next game.
what game are you thinking?
uh all right, so if I had to pick a game, I'm thinking I'm gonna Penn State, Ohio State, man. So
Choo.
So all right, so you know how I feel about Penn State, man. They always good up until they play like two teams, which is probably
Michigan or
Michigan
Ohio
and Ohio
State.
State. Now
Mm-hmm.
they're actually doing better than I thought they were gonna do
Oh, way better.
because typically they lose to somebody like Minnesota or Iowa or Illinois, or they lose to this point to somebody they don't have no business losing to. So the
Mm-hmm.
only thing that they're really playing for is a Big Ten championship. So this point, they still playing for a national championship. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to beat Ohio State, this will probably be the year to do it
It
because
has to be.
they don't really look as dominant as they should. You know, they winning games. Don't get me wrong. They beating people. But
Not convincingly though.
not the way they're supposed to. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're James Franklin at Penn State, this will probably be your best year to get there. Because next year they probably gonna be back to what they used to do. Especially if they lose to Michigan for the third year in a row. It's gonna be some changes in Ohio State next year. They're not gonna be the same team because ain't no way they're gonna let that slide, you know. So if you're James Franklin, you gotta get them while they vulnerable this year and they looking like not the same. Now I'm not gonna say that they gonna beat Michigan because Michigan look nasty anyway. When Jim Harbaugh is having a good time, you in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So so yeah, but I think I think can that I want to pick Penn State because I want them to just do it. But I think just Ohio State just got too much. They're not playing to their potential. Like they really have a great team this year, but they just not playing to their potential. But
Mm-hmm.
I think they might wake up this week. I think I'm going Ohio State against Penn State, man, because
Okay.
I really like this dude they got. Like he was like a top 5 recruit or something, and he delayed his decision to like the summertime. But I mean, he was such a big fish that it surprised everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say it's JTT or something like that. But he like really good, man. Like he looked like the next Ohio State defensive end that's gonna be really good. You know what I'm saying? They had the Bosa boys. They had Chase Young. So he looks like he's the next one. You know what I'm saying? So I expect him to wreak some havoc. And I think Ohio State wins, man. I think they wake up a little bit, especially offensively. And I think because it's such a good game, I think they'll be ready they won't sleepwalk like they did against Maryland. But I think they'll wake up for this one, man. I don't think James Franklin hasn't shown me enough in these games that he can get it done. So I'm going with Ohio State, man. I think it might be closer than people think, but I still think Ohio State pulls away, later.
Mm-hmm. I think this is going to be one of those. I think it's going to be a nail biter. To be honest with you, I don't think it's going to be where a game somebody pulls away. And if I'm going to put my money on something, I'm going to put my money on the James Franklin break the trend. I got Penn State, dude. I don't think it's going to be convincing. There's something different about Ohio State. They're loaded. Their roster's really good. Like I'm going to allude to what you said. Very talented roster, man. But man, this Penn State team just feels a little bit different. Like, because it's like they're always in the mix and in the conversation. But this year, it doesn't just feel like it's talk. It actually feels like, no, they're actually putting together a good resume. I'm not saying they're national championship bound. I'm not saying that at all. But this year just feels different for them. And if, like you said before, if there's a year to beat Ryan Day in them, it's going to be this year. I'm going James Franklin and Penn State. I don't think it'll be by a lot, but I think they pull it out.
Okay, no, that's cool. That's cool, man. I just ain't got no faith in him, man. I just ain't got no faith in him, man. I want to because he's had some good years, but it's just not like I don't know, man. If this ain't the year, then when is the year? It's almost like how we were talking about Jim Harbaugh a few years ago. Like when you gonna beat Ohio State? That's kind of where I feel about James Franklin right now. If it's not gonna be this year, when is it gonna be? Making a whole lot of money up there in Happy Valley. So I mean, I do give him credit, man, for kind of steadying the ship a little bit after all that stuff that they did at Penn State before him. So I will say he's kind of changed the culture in Penn State. I mean, really a lot. Because like I said, we know how that was after all that stuff happened. So, it's really good to see, how Penn State has kind of branched out of that and really kind of been back. So I mean, if they can beat Ohio State, man, it's a really good step in the right direction, man. But
yeah,
who knows, man? I don't know. Let's see.
Cool. So this is another good matchup, and feels like we just keep talking about Caleb Williams, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it, man. Man, they got Utah at USC. I don't know if Cam Rising, I know he's been having some injury issues, but man, Cam Rising against Caleb Williams, man, it feels like all the good games are Pac-12 games this year, man. If both of those guys are healthy and ready to go, man, you better be ready.
I told you, man.
Yeah.
I told you the Pac-12 this year is going to be awesome because don't nobody want USC walking out with that championship. If we talking wrestling, right? Remember the Montreal screw job with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels? Don't nobody want Bret Hart walking up to WCW as the champion. So the Pac-12 is not trying to let USC walk out with that championship. Okay, so nobody want to see them win that last Pac-12 championship. Okay, nobody. So it's every game is gonna be tough. You know what I'm saying? Now I thought that's how the Big 12 was gonna be as well, but it seems like Oklahoma and Texas are just the only ones that want to play right now. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I just think the Pac-12 is up for grabs, man. And like I said, I don't know. I mean, I think USC wins this game just because they lost last week. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it'll be easy though.
No, I don't think it'd be easy because I forgot the coach's name. I want to say Kyle Whittingham for Utah. Like he always has his bunch ready to go.
Well, they always ready to roll, bro.
I don't know what he preaches and how he preaches, but he always got his guys ready to go. Like
Mhm.
they play hard against everybody in the Pac-12. So I mean, I'm not sure what conference they're going to next. I don't remember.
They're going to the Big 12.
So I mean, but it's gonna be wide open. So I expect Utah to be one of the best teams in the new Big 12. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I expect them to be real good because they always good, man. Always tough to beat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, even when they had Urban Meyer, they was tough to beat. Like they just a really tough team to beat. Like historically. So, I mean, I don't know, man. But I think USC wins because I don't know who's playing. I don't know how Cam Rising is playing as far as injuries are concerned. But I mean, I just think USC might be playing a little angry. But you know
Mhm.
what? That's not always a good thing either. So I
Yeah.
think it'll
Make
be close.
mistakes.
Yeah, I think it'll be closer than people think, but I still think USC pulls it out. But I do think it'd be closer, man. Like I said, but don't be
Mhm.
surprised if they lose though. Don't be surprised. Like
No,
I
I
got them
mean,
winning. I got them winning, but don't be surprised if they lose. Like if you
yeah.
are a betting
So I
person,
mean, their
yeah,
defense, USC's defense is always going to be their Achilles heel as long as Lincoln Riley's a coach. He's just not going to put the time and effort into building a defense, unfortunately. It's
not,
really a shame. So if I'm looking at it with that pair of glasses, this is gonna fall on Caleb Williams. If you play anything relatively close to what you did get against Notre Dame, you're gonna lose this game. Do I think that's gonna happen? No, because I don't think if they drop another one, if they drop back to back, he knows that they drop back to back, his draft stock's gonna it's gotta take a hit at some point, dude. Especially if you're gonna drop 3 in a row to Utah and then back to back games like in the regular season, you can't afford that to happen. So I think USC wins this game, but I don't think it's a shoe in. Especially if Cam Rising plays and he plays up to he's a stud, dude. We don't talk about him enough. If he
no,
plays in anything like he normally plays, Utah's always going to have a chance to win this game. Do I
he's not.
think Utah wins? No. I'm going to put my money on USC. But like you said, if you playing pissed off doesn't always translate to wins, and it doesn't always translate to a clean game either. You can make a lot of mistakes because you're too tied up in the emotions and all these things like that. So
No.
I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, I've got USC too.
Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. 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 All right.
Yeah,
So this
I think yeah.
let me see. This last game, if I'm not mistaken, was Washington State and Oregon. So
Yep. In Eugene.
all right. So I feel like Washington State is like really good. That's a really good squad, man. And they can beat anybody. And this is a big game too. Oregon coming off a loss, like they want to keep their Pac-12 hopes alive, so they got to win this
Mm.
game. But you know, I got them winning, man, because I remember a couple years ago, maybe even last year, Washington State was winning this game, and that was in Pullman or Washington or something like that. So they was winning it, and Cam Ward was really electric, man. So I think he's trying to put the Pac-12 and draft people on notice that hey, I'm pretty good too, and I'm electric.
Hmm.
So this is another year outside of his like Division 1A or whatever from Incarnate Word or whatever. So it's another year that he's growing as a passer. But I think Oregon might be playing a little angry too. But I feel like they would play better angry anyway because
They're more disciplined.
it was such a close game and it could have went either way. So I feel like they would play normal, just a little bit more motivated. And I don't think Dan
Hmm.
Lanning would probably let them lose 2 games in a row. especially with them trying to win a Pac-12 and get to the Rose Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think, like I said, this year is all about getting to that Rose Bowl because you don't know how it's going to work next year with the Pac-12 not being there. So
Mhm.
you want to, like, a lot of people going to the Big Ten. So them winning would be, they would be the representative from the Big Ten, but you don't know how it's going to work as far as who else is going to be there. So this would be the last year of a true Rose Bowl. So if anybody's not going to the playoffs, I think that would be a good game. You know what I'm saying? That would be
Mhm.
the prize you're playing for the final year of the Pac-12. So I think everybody's going to be trying to aim for that. So, but I think Oregon wins this game, man. I just think they just got too much of
Mhm.
everything, too much offense, too much defense, too much special teams. And don't get me wrong, Cam Ward is amazing, but there's only one guy. You know what I'm saying? He can't really play offensive line either. And Oregon plays really good defense. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think they got enough. It'd be a good game. It'd be exciting because Pac-12 has been really good this year. But we both know why. Because it's like this the last year, so they trying to go out like with a bang. So I mean,
Mhm.
like I said, man, I think it'll be a good game, exciting, but Oregon's really gonna win it. And it's gonna be like at Eugene, so it's gonna
Mhm.
be pretty loud.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I don't see Coach Lanning letting another game slip through their fingers. I'm a lot more confident in Oregon. I feel like Oregon's a lot more disciplined. I don't feel like Oregon has all this other crap going on and being distracted. I really like Cam Ward. I think their offense is, like you said, electric. And I think they could go blow for a little while with Oregon. But like you said, I think Oregon's just too loaded. Uh, I don't see Washington State containing Bo Nix in that offense, especially when they get clicking. It's hard for damn near almost anybody to stop them. They looked a little off last week, but I don't see them playing like that 2 weeks in a row. I like Washington State. Do I want them to win? Yes. But from a football perspective and from a roster and coaching perspective, Oregon's going to win this game by at least a touchdown or two, if not more.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's just too much, but it'd be a good game, really good game. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I think the team to watch, as we close the showdown, I think the team to watch is Oregon State though. Like they've been playing real good, sneaky good.
Mm-hmm. Dark horse.
I don't know what their record is, but they've been playing sneaky good, man. Let me look it up,
I
right?
forget who they played this week. I scrolled through their game when I was picking games for this video. I forget who they're playing and what their record was.
Yeah, they 6-1 and they ranked 12th.
Choo, that's not bad at all behind DJ.
Yeah, not at all. That's really good, man. Like I said, I don't know where their rankings are. Okay, so they are actually third. Third, yep. Third in the Pac-12.
Okay.
So they're third in the Pac-12 and they lost in conference, I want to say. No, yeah, they lost in conference. So right now, if we're looking at it, if the season ended today, USC and Washington will be in the conference championship game, I think. Think that's how it works. Because it's not in two different things. It's not like a East and West thing from what I'm
Yeah,
seeing.
theirs isn't set up like that.
Yeah, so it's like so I think it'll be like that. But I do think if I'm looking at the thing right now, so USC is basically undefeated in conference because Notre Dame's not a conference team.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
but they got some tough games, man. I really want to see what Oregon State's doing, like what they're playing later on in the season. Okay, so they got Arizona. I want to say this weekend or next. No,
That may be a
next
good
weekend.
game.
Next weekend. So next weekend, I think they're off this week. And so they got Arizona and then they got Colorado, which depending on which team is playing, that could be up and down. But then they got like two chances to get the Pac-12 title. So obviously, USC will have to lose, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they're ahead of them, and Washington will have to lose, right? But say USC drops the game this weekend, right? You know what I'm saying? Say they drop the game. Uh, all Oregon State gotta do is win out because they got a game against
Yeah.
Washington, and then they got a game against Oregon, which is their rivalry.
Phew.
So I mean,
Dude, that is going to be tough for them, though. I don't know if those are on the road or not, but those are two really tough games for sure.
it doesn't say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
doesn't.
going to definitely make a difference, though. If they've got to play those two away, that's going to be hard, bro.
Yeah, see,
For
like I
sure.
said, I don't know, but I'd say the ball is in their court, man. Being two in the division, or not, well, ranked three in the division, you have a chance to really do some damage, man. And I mean, you got a good team that nobody's really paying attention to, and you got a
Mm-hmm.
good quarterback, man. That's a team I really want to see, man. Like I said, I'm excited to just see. I'm really happy for DJU because
Mm-hmm.
he's one closer to home because he's from California, so Oregon's state's right there. But he feels more comfortable, like they just letting him play his way. I really like that. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's
Not
what
putting them in a box.
yeah, I feel like that's what he was missing in Clemson, man. And I really don't think he wanted to go to Clemson. I just think that was the biggest school after him at the time. And Bryce went to Bama, so it's like, man, I gotta go somewhere else. I don't really want to be at home either. So I mean, it was a good opportunity to see another type of state or whatever college football atmosphere. But I just think he probably should have stayed at home. Like, I mean, stay closer to home. I mean, you got Oregon right down the street. I mean, I wouldn't say go to UCLA because I mean that's not really his style. Chip Kelly's not really his style for real. Um, but I mean, he probably could have went anywhere and really been real good. But it's good to see him kind of putting all the pieces together, man. Because he's another guy that's a draftable prospect too, man. He's really big, so he's got some Big Ben in him. He's big, he's hard to tackle, and he's got a cannon for a
Mm-hmm. Big body.
yeah, 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 yeah. But he's got a little bit more wiggle though than Big Ben. Big Ben ain't had no wiggle. He's just big. He had no wiggle, man. He was just big, man. But Big Ben wasn't running like that. He got a little bit more wiggle, man. But he's a big dude, man. You know what I'm saying? We talked about Jamarcus Russell, right? That's who he reminds me of in terms of like his body type and play style. I mean, he's obviously a better passer
Mm-hmm.
than
Big
Russell.
body, long, strong.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Big body, mobile enough to get around, but not a thing. But in terms of like build and then play style a little bit, it kind of reminded me of Jamarcus Russell at LSU, man. I mean, he was big, mobile, big cannon arm, man. Surprisingly quick too. So that's what I think of, and I think he has to go to the right system, man. But I think he'll be good, man. He's definitely a draftable person. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe second, third round, maybe. You know what I'm saying? He might sneak into the first round with like a contender looking for a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So
Depending on how the season ends out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I mean, it's gonna be a few teams like looking for quarterbacks. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, but we can get that into that in the NFL. Like we can have like a little like I guess a standings type of peek to see where teams will end up later. Because I think it's a couple teams that need a quarterback bad, bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like I said, you never know. We've seen drafts where they run on quarterbacks, where it's like they just drafting dudes just to have one. I mean, I seen Jake
Mhm.
Locker. I seen him. I was like, I mean, maybe last year, the year
Jake
before,
Locker was good though, man. Jake
he
Locker was good.
he was good, but he should have came out the year before, not the year he came out.
He should have, and him going to Tennessee wasn't the right place for him to be
True,
either. I
true,
find.
true, 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 true. I agree. I agree. There's no argument for me there. But I mean, then you like guys like EJ Manuel, who's really good on television,
Oof.
by the way. He's really good on television. If you ever seen
That's
ACC Network, he's really good on television. Really good.
mhm.
So him going to Buffalo was kind of it was up and down. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't see him as a first round talent, but I mean they needed a quarterback. So I mean, hey, why not? You know what I'm saying? So
He
uh
was more of a first round talent than Christian Ponder,
yeah, Christian
who was,
Ponder.
who was another Florida State guy.
Yeah, man. I mean, it ain't been a good run for Florida State quarterbacks lately, has it? You know what I'm saying?
Besides Jameis, and he ain't even really did all that much either. So,
And even Jameis, dog, that wasn't that good either. So I
mhm.
mean, what you got, Chris Winkie?
That's like the last good one. I don't think he didn't translate that much in the
Nah,
league
not
either.
really,
So,
because he went to the Panthers, bro. in their in
expansion
the,
team.
in their inaugural season, so you know that was
Mhm.
bad. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, but he did. He was all right though. But he was like 29. He's a 29-year-old rookie. Like, come on.
Like Brandon Whedon.
Yeah, man. But Chris Winkie was way better than Brandon Whedon. He's
Oh
like, I
yeah.
don't know why Brandon Whedon. I don't know who. I don't know, man. He was all right. But,
I don't understand. I still don't understand.
but that's Cleveland for you. That's
Thanks.
Cleveland, that's Cleveland for you, man. But like I said, this is our preview recap of college football, man. Like I said, we hope you enjoyed it, man, because we talk about a lot, man. We burning the midnight oil, man. Getting it late here, where I am. Sure it's late where Brandon is. So, but you know what I'm saying, we enjoy talking about college football, man. So it really ain't no time, man. But like I said, before we get up out of here, man, anything you gotta say?
Yeah, man, it's really good to be back here working together. We've been separate for feels like forever, but man, just stay on the grind. We really appreciate you guys. Shout out again to Off the Ball Network, bunch of really crazy guys that are just really hyped and just always want to talk sports. Man, good environment, good positive environment. So we're thankful to them for the opportunity to be able to work with them and reach more people. Like he said. You guys should check out BetUS. Make sure you check the link in the description. Got some really cool stuff over there if you guys are into stuff like DraftKings and stuff like that. BetUS has been around for a long time, so I think you guys should
Oh,
really check it out. Like he said, I want to say in the beginning, we're approaching 10,000, man. We'd really appreciate if you guys would hit that subscribe
10K.
button. If you guys like the comment, if you guys like this kind of content, like the video. And don't forget to hit the bell notification. You hit the bell notification every time there's a short, every time there's a video, every time we make posts, announcements, you get all of that. So anytime we make shorts out of videos, you got that. New preview content, recap content, you got that. If you like college football stuff, we got playlists, NFL playlists, top 5 playlists, what if playlists. Gonna have an open discussion playlist starting here pretty soon. So man, we just would really appreciate if you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, man. We are grateful. We are thankful. Just strap in. Let's get ready for the ride, guys.
Hey, couldn't have said it better myself, man. Go Army. All
It's Tigers.
right, we up out of here. Peace.